Imagine living your entire life in freezing darkness. No sunlight, no rush, no reason to hurry. You move slowly, feeling the faint vibrations around you, guided more by smell than sight. Years pass, decades pass, and you're still here. Because in your world, survival isn't about speed, it's about patience. Deep beneath the Arctic and North Atlantic lives a creature that seems to have completely misunderstood the concept of urgency. Not because it can't move fast, but because, apparently, it simply doesn't care. This is the Greenland shark. Most adults reach between 4 and 5 meters in length. The largest confirmed individual measured over 6 meters and weighed more than a ton. That's the size of a small car. Except this car lives in darkness and near freezing temperatures and has been doing things the same way for centuries, literally. Because the Greenland shark is believed to be the longest living vertebrate ever discovered. Some individuals are estimated to live for over 300 years, and one may have approached 400. Which means that while humanity was busy inventing electricity, airplanes, and the internet, somewhere in the cold darkness, a Greenland shark was simply carrying on with its day. And judging by its speed, probably the same day. Everything about this animal seems designed for patience. Its body is thick and heavy. It has a short, rounded snout, tiny eyes, and surprisingly small fins. Nothing about it screams apex predator. If anything, it looks like evolution focused less on fearsome hunter and more on reliable old tractor. And somehow, that strategy worked. The Greenland shark spends most of its life in water that sits only a few degrees above freezing, often hundreds of meters below the surface, where sunlight never reaches. Down there, speed is expensive, energy is precious, so the shark moves slowly, conserving as much energy as possible. In fact, it is one of the slowest swimming fish ever measured. At first, that raises an obvious question. How does something this slow catch seals? Because seals, for those wondering, are not famous for waiting patiently to be eaten. Scientists still don't know the complete answer. The leading theory is that Greenland sharks rely less on speed and more on surprise. Sleeping seals, injured animals, or anything unfortunate enough to let its guard down may become dinner. It's less like a chase scene and more like nature's version of someone arriving unexpectedly to an empty buffet. And the Greenland shark is not picky. Its menu includes cod, herring, halibut, squid, seabirds, crabs, and seals. Some individuals have even been found with remains of reindeer, horses, and moose in their stomachs, which naturally raises several questions. Mostly, how? The answer is scavenging. The ocean occasionally delivers strange gifts, and the Greenland shark seems to follow one simple rule. If it's meat and it's available, we'll discuss the details later. Its teeth are just as unusual. The upper teeth are narrow and pointed, acting almost like hooks to hold on to prey. But the lower teeth are broad, sharp, and fit together like a row of tiny knives. When feeding on large animals, the shark doesn't simply bite, it twists. Using a rolling motion of its jaw, it cuts away chunks of flesh with all the grace of a chainsaw operated in slow motion. Not elegant, but effective. And then there are the eyes, or rather, the things attached to the eyes. Many Greenland sharks carry a parasitic crustacean called Ommatocoida elongata, which latches onto the cornea and can cause severe damage. Some sharks become almost blind. Most animals would find that inconvenient. The Greenland shark seems to have accepted it as one of life's minor annoyances, which, to be fair, makes sense. When you spend your life in darkness, eyesight isn't exactly your star player. Instead, the shark relies heavily on smell and an extraordinary sensory system called the lateral line. Tiny canals beneath the skin allow it to detect vibrations and pressure changes in the water. It doesn't need to see everything around it. It can feel it. And somehow, that is enough. Even its blood and body chemistry are unusual. Its tissues contain massive amounts of urea and another compound called TMAO. Together, they protect proteins and help the shark survive the crushing pressures and freezing temperatures of the deep sea. Basically, the Greenland shark is carrying around its own biochemical winter coat. Its genetics are equally strange. Scientists recently sequenced its enormous genome, one of the largest ever found in a shark. Within it, researchers discovered genes linked to DNA repair and maintenance, which may help explain how an animal can survive for centuries without simply falling apart. Because here's the truly unbelievable part. These sharks grow at a rate of roughly 1 centimeter per year. 1 centimeter. Houseplants have had more dramatic growth spurts. And they don't even become sexually mature until around 150 years of age. Imagine spending a century and a half just reaching adulthood. Not because you're late, not because you're lazy, just because that's the schedule. And once they do reproduce, things don't speed up. Pregnancy may last somewhere between 8 and 18 years. They produce relatively few pups, and every stage of life moves at the same slow rhythm, which is also why Greenland sharks are vulnerable. Thousands are accidentally caught every year as bycatch. And for a species that measures its life in centuries rather than decades, recovering from losses is a very slow process. And perhaps that's what makes this animal so fascinating. Not that it's huge, not that it can live for centuries, not even that it hunts seals while barely moving faster than a determined stroll. It's the fact that everything about the Greenland shark operates on a completely different timescale. In a world obsessed with speed, efficiency, and constant movement, this animal has spent millions of years proving that another strategy exists: slow growth, slow movement, slow reproduction, and extraordinary endurance. While generations of humans come and go, somewhere beneath the ice-covered waters of the North Atlantic, in darkness just above freezing, an ancient shark continues its quiet journey. Unbothered, unimpressed, moving at the exact same pace it always has. And maybe that's the strangest thing about the Greenland shark. It isn't trying to outrun time. Somehow, after all these centuries, it simply seems to have made peace with it.